Hi there. I'm glad you could stop in. I'm peeling a few potatoes here, getting ready for supper. And you know, the other day, these potatoes, they taught me a lesson about God. I'm telling you the truth, they did. My wife, she was coming home from work, and she was a little bit late, and I was trying to get dinner, ready for her because she'd had a hard day, and I was running late on getting the dinner ready. And I mean, I'd had my pork chops all done and ready, and they were looking good, and I had my biscuits, cooking in the oven. They were looking good, and I guess I've made mashed potatoes about a gazillion times in my life because I love mashed potatoes. And had my gravy done and everything, and I mean, all I had to do was get those mashed potatoes ready. And so I cut them all up, and I took my potato masher, and I started mooshing away at those potatoes. And they were the hardest things that I'd ever tried to moosh in my life, and I couldn't figure out what in the world was making those potatoes so hard. And so after a while, I said, this potato masher is worthless. This thing isn't any good. And then after a little bit, I started blaming the potatoes. I said, this produce in Phoenix, it's green. I said, they just make these old hard potatoes and then put them on the shelf for people to buy. I mean, I was just blaming everything. And so then I put them in the mixing bowl. And I reckon I tried every speed on that thing, up to the highest speed that it had. And all that was doing was throwing the potato pieces all over the place. So I took my hands and I tried to gooch the potato pieces on up closer to the blades, and I probably just about broke the mixer when I did that. But I just kept fussing in at the mixer. The mixer wasn't strong enough, the mixer wasn't powerful enough, and I just couldn't figure out what in the world was going wrong with my potatoes because I was trying to get them ready, for my wife. I wanted her to have a good dinner when she came home. Well, about that time, my wife came in. And she came in and she saw those potato pieces all over the place. She saw me struggling with the mixing bowl and everything. And she came over, and you know what? She didn't laugh. She was just as nice as she could be. And I told her, I said, Kathy, I said, this potato masher is worthless. I said, these potatoes, they're so hard, I can't believe it. I said, I tried to have dinner ready for you. And I said, I just haven't been able to get these old hard potatoes to mash up. And she looked at me and she said, Dennis, did you boil the potatoes? My whole mind went white when she said that. I mean, it just went blank because I just felt so stupid. I said, no, baby, I did not boil the potatoes. Now, I had been boiling potatoes since I expect I was about 12 years old. I mean, I knew to boil those potatoes, but I got in such a hurry that I forgot to boil them. And I was still in such a hurry, I kept forgetting to boil them, and my wife had to come in and remind me of my stupid mistake. Folks, it just goes to show that when we get in a hurry, we can blame things and we can blame circumstances, and we can just blame for our poor performance. And we'll say, things like, well, because, we can even blame God when things don't go right in our lives, when we get in a hurry, and we'll say, well, God, my blessing, has always worked this way, and you've always blessed me, and you've always been faithful, and we'll just have a fit, before God over stuff, and we can't figure out why things are going wrong, and we just want something, we want it right now, and we want it our way. And I believe, just like I blamed that poor old potato masher, and I blamed this poor old potato, and I blamed the mixer and everything else for my own stupidity, we can blame all kinds of things, even God, when things don't quite turn out like we want them to. And it could be something like, we didn't pray, or pray as much as we ought to, or pray through on something, or it could be that we haven't stayed in the Word, or it could be that we're relying on our own strength. But the reason for the poor performance is we forgot something in the procedure, something very basic. And that's exactly what I did with my mashed potatoes, and I really messed up. And I believe God is just like my wife. I really do. I think God has just a laughing fit himself over our fits of carnality when we get mad and we get in a hurry and we can't figure out what's wrong, and it's really us being foolish. We've forgotten something real important in getting the blessing from God. And God comes in and he doesn't condemn us. God just comes in and he begins to help out just like my wife did. And God will say, did you remember to pray? Did you remember to read the Word? Did you remember you can't rely on your own strength? That I'm the one who enables you? And, my wife, she laughed with me later on about it, but she didn't laugh at me. And I believe God does that with us too. So, my friend, I'm glad you stopped in today. As I peel these potatoes, I think about that old hard potatoes lesson, and I just think about how God makes everything so much easier, and He's so good to us. And I recall that the Word of God says in James 1:4, let patience have her perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire, lacking nothing. I think that's mighty good advice. Mighty good advice.